don't already know, I've got the picture round and the wipeout round that are available on the Facebook group. You can be cracking on with those and the gaps in between. Picture round, I'm looking for your cartoon name. I'm not looking for the cartoon character. I want the cartoon name. And for your wipeout round, I need any of the most 50 common pub names in the UK, maxed at 10. So you can only go for 10. Any wrong on that round, you'll lose all your points, but it's up to you how many you guess for. Right, so I'm going to get started with your first Who Am I question. So who am I? For those that haven't done the quiz before, I'll just explain the rules on this one. I'm going to give you a series of clues to who the person is that I'm being. If you get it on the first clue, you'll get 10 points. Then you'll get 8 points on the second clue. Then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the following clues. You can only guess once. So if you decide to guess it after the second clue for 8 points, but then the clues get a bit easier, and for 4 points you then decide you want to change your mind, I'm sorry, but it's too late at that point. You've answered for 8 points. Now, normally when I do this quiz in the cricket club, I would go around and you'd hand your answer in, and that would be final that you'd hand it in. What I want you to do is be honest with yourselves about when you would have handed it in, and just write down your answer and claim how many points you want. Please don't put any answers in the chat box. So don't put anything in the chat box for the answers. But by all means, put down how many you're going for, because I think people quite like to see how many points other people have gone for on the Who Am I round. So if you think you're confident you're going to go for 8, just put going for 8 in the chat box so people can see. And at the end of the round, we'll see how we get on and how people actually get, how many points people actually get. So is that clear for everyone? Is that not clear for anyone? There's a couple of new faces tonight, but is everyone happy with that? Cool. Right, so for 10 points, your first clue. I was born on the 5th of August, 1930 in Ohio, USA. I was born on the 5th of August, 1930 in Ohio, USA. So don't go putting anything in the chat box as far as who your guess goes, but if you're going to go for it, just put going for 10 in the chat box so people know you're going for 10. It will be very unusual that I give out 10 points in this round, by the way, so don't panic if you don't know it at that stage. And it's very often that I give out zeros as well, so don't panic if you end up ballsing up this round. It does happen on a regular basis.
Making a mess.
So for 10 points, I was born on the 5th of August, 1930 in Ohio, USA. Nothing in the chat box yet. Doesn't look like anyone's being brave there, which does not surprise me. I'm going to move on to your next clue for 8 points. For 8 points, I am most famous for my work alongside 2 colleagues, Michael and Edwin. I am most famous for my work alongside 2 colleagues, Michael and Edwin. Booth it, I forgot to give you the nudge. Did you by any chance start recording? You did? Good man. Paula going for 8, Amy going for 8. Right, so there's a couple coming in there. Paul was confident, Phil's in there nodding away, he's confident there. We'll see, we'll see. It's not a train. So I was born on the 5th of August 1930 in Ohio, USA. And for 8 points, I'm most famous for my work alongside 2 colleagues, Michael and Edwin. And just for those that don't know, we've muted everyone else apart from me, but there is an unmute button. If you need to get my attention for something, you can unmute yourself and talk to me if need be. You can raise your hand, but I might not see it. Your best bet is just to unmute yourself and then we can listen to what you say. But it will go to everyone, not just me. So it just looks like there's a couple in there for 8 points. Are you? No, my mum's not tempted at the minute. So I'm going to move on to your clue for 6 points. For 6 points, I was a fighter pilot in the Korean War. I was a fighter pilot in the Korean War. Phil's nodding along. He's confident with his train answer. So I was born on the 5th of August 1930 in Ohio, USA. I'm most famous for my work alongside 2 colleagues, Michael and Edwin. And for 6 points, I was a fighter pilot in the Korean War. Lots of people looking like they're thinking, but not many answers coming in. Oh, there we go. Phil Constantine for 6. Was and Kath for 6. Uzi for 6. There's a few more coming in now. Who's ringing you? Just answer it and let her know if you want. It's fine. Just tell her you're doing quizzes and you ring about this one. So a couple for 8. There's 3 for 6. 4 for 6. Mary's just gone for 6 as well. So there's a few coming in there for 6 points. I'll give you a little bit longer just in case you're running an iron on that one. Are you getting anywhere closer to this, Mum?
No.
No. Just under half have come in. 2 for 8, 4 for 6. It looks like we've dried up there on the 6s. So there's 2 for 8, 4 for 6. I'll give you next clue. So I was born 5th of August 1930 in Ohio, USA. I'm most famous for my work alongside 2 colleagues, Michael and Edwin. I was a fighter pilot in the Korean War. And for 5 points, one of my quotes is one of the most famous quotes of all time. One of my quotes is one of the most famous quotes of all time. So I said something quite important at one point. That's essentially what that means. Such as, I have a dream. Wadsworth's going for 5. Sean looks like he might be typing there. That could be a 5 from Sean. There we go. Oh no, Sharon, Rose and Chloe, that one.
Well, that, John.
Yeah, someone shout it. Kath. Yes, Kath, what can I do for you?
Yeah. What you've just said, that wasn't the quote, was it not?
No, that definitely wasn't the quote. No, I wouldn't give you the quote. I was just saying, such as, I have a dream.
Such as.
Yeah, I don't think Martin Luther King was a fighter pilot in the Korean War somehow, but I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Tell us the quote, then we can get the answer.
I'm not giving you the quote. That's not the clue. The quote is, I said something important once. I had a bit of a standing joke with Kath. Kath does my quiz on a regular basis in the cricket club. Falmouth Cricket Club, I do the quiz every Tuesday night. And Kath always asks me questions about the Who Am I round as we go. So it's normally the Who Am I round according to Kath. And one week I decided, I'll tell you what we should do. I'm not going to write any clues for the Who Am I round. I'll just let Kath ask me questions and see how we get on. So I will do that at one point, Kath. We will do that. We'll just do the Who Am I round according to Kath. And see how we get on. It'll have to be a week where you're not doing the quiz though, because otherwise it's a bit unfair if you know it and no one else does. But that will be a laugh. So for 5 points, one of my quotes is one of the most famous quotes of all time. So there's a few more come in there. Sean did go for 5 in the end. Paul went for 5. Sharon, Rose and Chloe for 5. Wadsworth went for 5 as well. Still a few more. Mum, are you tempted?
I'm still like that.
She's still...
I think I might know.
She's leaning towards an answer, but not quite going for it. You might get it for 4. So for 4 points, I worked for NASA. For 4 points, I worked for NASA.
Yeah, that's me.
I always try and look at the people that answered early and see if they're smiling or see if they're sulking. Phil's got a big smile there. I think he might be quite pleased with his 8 points that he went for. Sarah's gone for 4. Davina went for 5. Can't remember if you mentioned her for 5 before, but Davina went 5. Ryan's gone for 4 as well. Jean going for 4. My mum is going for 4.
Yeah.
She's on her own this week. She's going for 4. Dave and Inique going for 4. And they're coming flooding in there for 4. So it's a good mix of 8s down to 4s. I think most will be in now. I could be wrong, but I think most are probably in at this point. Kath going for 4. On to your clue for 3 points. I was the commander of Apollo 11. I was the commander of Apollo 11. I reckon this could be a round with no zeros, you know. I think everyone might have scored in this round. For 2 points, I think they probably all win now, but I'll keep going. But for 2 points, I was the first man to walk on the moon. And I'm glad Graham McGreevy's not on, because if he was, I would have to say the word allegedly after it, because he's one of those lunatics, no pun intended, that thinks the moon landings are a conspiracy. Lunatics. I like that. For 1 point, my initials are NA. For 1 point, my initials are NA. I am, of course, Neil Armstrong. So let us know in the chat box how many points you got for that round. Did you all get what you claimed for, or have we got any zeros? I actually don't think we've got any zeros there, but we'll see. Let's see what people claim. So Boovy gets the 6 he went for. Sharon, Rose and Chloe, defending champions, get 5. Amy gets 8. Paul gets 5. Wadsworth 5. My mum gets 4. David and Inique 4. Mary gets a 6. Waz and Cass 6. Paul and Phil 8 points. You're learning. Don't just go for train on for 10 points. Ryan Walker 4. Joby 5. Davina 5. Phil Constantine 6. I think everyone's in there and everyone's scored. A couple of others probably to come. I don't think Sarah's coming there, but she will do it at some point. Sean and Abby and Joseph as well, obviously. Get 5. Pollux 4. Sarah gets 4. It looks like everyone's scored. Very well done to you all. You've all scored on that round, but well done. Right, so I'm going to move on to your first 10 questions of your German knowledge quiz. So we'll do 10 questions on this. We'll have a little break so you can top up your ears and crack on with your wipeout rounds and picture rounds if you've not finished them. And then we'll go through your wipeout round answers, and then we'll do the second half of the quiz, which is another Who Am I, and the other 10 questions, and then we'll mark everything at the end. So, first 10 questions. Question 1. In the world of politics, what was broadcast live on British TV for the first time on the 20th of March 1990? In the world of politics, what was broadcast live on British TV for the first time on the 20th of March 1990? Question 2. In the phonetic alphabet, Which two cities are used to represent letters? In the phonetic alphabet, which two cities are used to represent letters? And I want both right for the point. I'm not giving you a point for each. I want both right for a point. No half points. It's either both right for a point or one right or zero right for no points. Which two cities are used to represent letters? Question 3. Where would you find the characters Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde? Where would you find the characters Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde? I'm hoping that's a good question, but it could be an absolute shocker as well, because I wouldn't have got it. If anyone knows that, just wave your hand at me. Oh, there we go. Mary knows it. Good. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. Where would you find those characters? Every so often when I'm reading through questions, I see something and think, oh, that's a good, if that's right, that's a really good question. And then I end up Googling it and finding out if it's right or not. And then I think, right, would I know that if such and such? And that was one that I thought, that's a good one. We'll ask that one. It was like the one last week. What was the camera? The box brownie, was it last week? Question 4. What is the only English word to end in the letters MT? That's M for Mike and T for Tango. And no, Mike and Tango, neither of those are cities. What's the only word in the English language to end in the letters MT?
It's English.
Yes, I'm sure it's English.
They're not the German.
It's definitely not German, no. Question 5. Who hit the headlines by playing a controversial game of Russian roulette live on television in 2003? Who hit the headlines by playing a controversial game of Russian roulette live on television in 2003? Kath, you're very animated there. It's as if you know it, but you can't remember the name. Who hit the headlines by playing a controversial game of Russian roulette live on TV in 2003? Question 6. The term Big Brother is taken from which George Orwell book? The term Big Brother is taken from which George Orwell book? Do you know that one, do you? You happy with that one, Mum? I don't ask many book questions, do I?
No.
Question 6. The term Big Brother is taken from which George Orwell book? Question 7. Which Sheffield theatre was opened in 1971? Which Sheffield theatre was opened in 1971? That's the one on the quiz that Pollock will get right anyway. Question 8. So last week I asked a tiebreaker, which was what was the length of the Titanic? This week, which country was nearest to where the Titanic was found? Which country was nearest to where the Titanic was found? Nice simple one for you.
Yeah.
Graham, joining us from Monaco, I think, there.
Hello, Crossy. You all right?
Right,
I've just been on my boat.
I was going to say, how's the yacht doing? Are you doing all right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Graham, just join in where you are and I'll catch you up at the next break, don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Crossy. It's all right. I was only joining. Sorry, I'm just still. Hang on a minute. I'm just still.
You're not drowning, are you?
No, there's no lifeguards, is there? No, I'm all right. Yeah, you carry on, Johnny. You carry on. I just thought I'd just join in.
Cool.
It's all right. I'm not competing. I was just joining just to keep my eye on.
Fair enough, Graham. Thanks for joining us. Question 9. In TV, Brenda, Dolly, Jean, Anita, and Twinkle were collectively known as what? In TV, Brenda, Dolly, Jean, Anita, and Twinkle were collectively known as what? I'm looking at Phil there. He's giving it all this. I think he's thinking about that Titanic question. Did he go that way or does it go that way? Or he went that way, went down. And the last question before we have a little break. Question 10. What is made of gold-plated bronze, is 13.5 inches high, and weighs 8.5 pounds? Question 10. What is made of gold-plated bronze, is 13.5 inches high, and weighs 8.5 pounds? Question 10, that. Which one have you missed? Number 9 was in TV, Brenda, Dolly, Jean, Anita, and Twinkle were collectively known as what? 8. Which country was nearest to where the Titanic was found? So that's the first half. That's your first 2 of mine and your first 10 questions. So we're going to have a little break now. The next thing we do is we will go through the answers to the wipeout round. So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes. Make sure you're ready at that point to hand in your wipeout round. Obviously, we don't hand it in, but we'll mark it and see how many points you got. And then the rest is all marked at the end. So have your wipeout round ready in about 10 minutes' time. So you've been cracking on with that for now. If anyone wants
Can we have
to,
number 3?
just give us a nudge.
Cool.
Kath, fire away.
Number 3 again, please.
Number 3 again, of course. Number 3. Where would you find the characters Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde?
Right, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
There was only one person waving, by the way, when I asked who knew that one. So it looks like it could be a tough one for a lot of people. Graham, out of interest, would you have known that? Give us a wave if you'd have known that one. No. I read it and hadn't got a clue when I read it, but I was hoping that someone at least would know it. Yes, we've got 10 minutes or so. Sorry, can you please repeat 4? Yeah, of course I can. Number 4. Amy wants number 4. What's the only English word to end in the letters MT? That's M for Mike and T for Tango. MT. So yeah, we've got a 10-minute break now. So if you want to go and top your beers up, go and top your beers up. If you want to put kettle on, go and put your kettle on. Whatever you want to do. And then we'll crack on in 10 minutes' time. We'll go through your wipeout round answers. Can I please repeat 4? Thank you. You're welcome, Amy. Not a problem. And I've timed my beer perfectly for a little break. So can we get a top up? I found a problem with these, by the way, Phil. We were chatting about them before. The lime to beer ratio is all wrong. It's like 2 and a bit bottles in one, but it's not enough lime. You've got to put 2 wedges or 3 wedges of lime. Boothie got one as well. Cheers, Boothie. Cheers, everyone. So it saves the exercise of going to the fridge, but not getting enough fruit.
We all need our 5 a day, Crossy.
You need your 5 a day, yeah. I had a strawberry jam donut before. I think that counts as one as well. I was chatting to Darren Mayers back end of last week. And we were talking about the quiz, and he said he was doing about 12 pints in whilst the quiz was on a Tuesday. It turned into his major drinking day of the week. So I'm just looking around thinking, I wonder how many of these people are drinking as much as Darren. I think it's quite a few, actually. Paul's always got a pint on hand. Phil's always drinking. Booby's got a few. I reckon the Wadsworths are going through a few down there as well. There's always beers kicking about. Sean and Phil started. No, they were drinking before the quiz started. They got me started.
And Crossy, it doesn't matter where you go, there's plenty of Coronas on the shelf.
It's everywhere you go. There's loads of them.
Everywhere you go.
I don't know why. No one wants it. Who's texting now? You've got an answer. It does make you think a bit about paying £3 10 a pint in club though, or anywhere else you go, doesn't it? You pop down to the shops and you can pick up Coronas 15 for 12 quid and all that. It's just boring drinking at home. Is anyone confident for 15 out of 15 on the pitch round, by the way?
No.
Everyone's shaking their heads with that one. Good. Sarah says no, maybe 40. I'd be impressed if you get 40. I actually thought you'd struggle on that. I looked at that this week and thought Sarah and Lee might struggle on them, on that pitch round. Sharon, Rose and Chloe reckon they'll get all 15. Fair enough. Sean reckons 13. Phil says 14. Joby 14. Fair enough. So they're still gettable. They're just not bankers for a full house.
All right.
No.
Be interesting that if Sharon Rose and Chloe get 15, that'll be a great effort.
No, I'm not saying I don't like talking on that.
Right, I'll give you a couple more minutes and then we'll go through your answers to your wipeout round. 10 points maximum up for grabs. But all you need to do is name any of the top 50 most common pub names in the UK. Are we all ready? Everyone sat down? Yeah, it looks like we've got someone on camera for everyone, so let's crack on.
Can I,
Yes.
before you start,
Before I start,
can I just
yes,
ask
go on.
this wipeout round,
Yeah.
do we only need pubs? Or can we have more than 10, as long as we've not got any wrong ones?
Why would you do that?
Most point.
You know more than 10. Why would you go for more than 10 when there's only 10 points up for grabs? Just go for the 10 that you think are most likely to be correct.
We don't want cross any out.
Well, you can't lose by crossing them. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. I might ban you next week. I mean, there's 10 points up for grabs, so pick your 10 more. If you want to go for 10, that's great, but pick your 10 most likely and cross out the others. All right? Cool.
Okay.
I'll literally give you 30 seconds to do that. Lee, you're bang on right there. Not the sharpest in the shed, the poet, says Boothie. Pollock thinks it's bingo night. 6 and 2, 62. Right. Pub names. So I'm going to name the 50. Obviously, you've got to find them on yours. You've got to mark them. So I'll give you a little bit of time, but not loads between each one. So we've got the Red Lion. Amy, I'm going to say the top 50. I'm going to say all 50. And if you've named any that are in that 50, give yourself a point. If there's any that are unnamed after I've gone through 50, you'll lose all your points. So the Red Lion is the number 1. The Crown is number 2. The Royal Oak. The White Hart. The Railway. The Plough. The Swan. The White Horse. The King's Arms. The Ship. The New, I'm guessing that's the New Inn, but you can have the New or any derivation of. The George. King George is fine. The Rose and Crown. The King's Head. The Bell. There's a few of them doing quiz. The Wheat Sheaf. The Queen's Head. The Victoria, or Queen Victoria. The Black Horse. The Castle. The Star, or the Star Inn, either of those are fine. The Anchor. The Cross Keys. The Prince of Wales. The Greyhound. The White Lion. The Station, or the Station Inn again. The Coach and Horses. The George and Dragon. The Fox and Hounds. The Checkers. The Rising Sun. The Bull. That is specifically the Bull at this point. Not any derivation of the Bull, but the Bull. The Sun. The Black Bull. The Bull's Head. The Angel. And again, I think that's another The Angel Inn. Hare and Hounds. The Bridge. The White Swan. Getting into the last 10 now. Clutching at straws now if you're still waiting if you're being called out, aren't you? The Fox. The Three Horseshoes. The Golden Lion. Booth is celebrating the Golden Lion there. There it is. The Royal. One for the Only Fools and Horses Brigade. The Nag's Head. The Globe. The Blue Bell. The Commercial. The Village. And number 50, the last one. Who's still waiting? There's a few still waiting. The last one, number 50, the Mason's Arms. I can see Lee though, he's just nodding, going, yeah, drunk in every one of them. Right, so how are we getting on? That's your 50.
You asking?
Johnny,
Kath and Phil, what's your question?
was there no Red Lion?
The Red Lion was number 1. The first one that I read out, Phil, was the Red Lion. It's the most popular UK pub name. Don't make me start again, please.
Can you give him number 2 as well?
Number 2 as well, the crown. Yeah, right. Okay. So I understand that there might be some ambiguity with some of these. If it's anything that you really need to check with me, just unmute yourself or type in the chat box and we'll go through it. But more of, I need it very specific for these. There's a few that have got in after them, or can have in after them, but the rest are quite specific. So if you've gone for the white bull, for example, it's not on the list, or top bull, it's not on the list. I want black bull or the bull. They were the 2 that I read out. So we've got 10 from Amy, 10 from Paul. We've got a wipeout from David Inique. We've got a wipeout from Mary. Joby for 7, Ryan for none, Davina for none, Paula for none. 10 out of 10 when you've drank in a few. That's from Sean. Wadsworth's none. Jean 9. Kath Poet 10. After all that, you get 10. And the Red Lion was the one you weren't sure on. Fantastic. Well, can't write it. Wasn't Kath 10. Mum gets 8. Well done, Mum. Just out of interest, what were the 0? Sharon Rose and Chloe for 7. Out of interest, what were your wipeouts? What were your common wipeout ones? King William, Davina, King William was not on there. Now, let me have a look through. Let's see where it does show, if it does show. The King William.
That was good for me.
Don't forget your wipeout.
The King William's not in the top 100. I can't see it. It's somewhere down, to be fair. King William, 127th. Boovie went the 3 crowns. Let's have a look for the 3 crowns. Three Crowns doesn't look like it's kicking about anywhere in the top 100, 150 area. So that's way down. 3 Crowns. What else have we got? Wagon and Horses. What, I'm sure I said, did I not say Wagon and Horses or something similar? Wagon and Horses is 65th. So you're not a million miles away with the Wagon and Horses. I don't think the Pack Horse is anywhere near. Boar's Head, no, that's not. Lord Nelson. There's a few Lord Nelsons kicking about. Lord Nelson, 69th. The Farmer's Arms and the Farmers, they're in there. They're just outside. Farmer's Arms is 61. Boovie says Smokies. No, Smokies isn't in there. There's only one Smokies. I knew he would be wrong with Post Office. Farmers and Wagon and Horses, and knew he'd be wrong with Post Office. Yeah, I think with a lot with. It's a good question. That I think what happens with that is you end up thinking local and going for the ones that you know a couple of locally and just assuming there's loads of them, but there's not necessarily loads of them kicking about that are the local ones. So yeah, I just thought that was something a bit different. I didn't want to make it out of 50 and have you writing all 50 down, but I think to give you 10 points it's worked all right. There's scores between 0 and 10, but there's people scoring in the middle as well. So that's around about right. So just make a note of how many points you scored for that round. Make sure you don't forget it, and we'll top them up at the end to see who scored what. And we're going to move on to your second Who Am I? But once again, it's not a Who Am I, it's a What Am I? What am I? So the rules of this are exactly the same as the Who Am I. I'm going to give you a series of clues. You can only guess once. Don't tell me your answer in the chat box. Just tell me how many you're going for. And at the end of the round, we'll find out how many people score. So for 10 points, I opened on the 4th of April, 1980. I opened on the 4th of April, 1980. It's got nothing to do with trains, just to let you know. That's Phil and Paul asking, putting trains down for that first one for the Channel Tunnel last week. So very confidently as well for 10 points. So it was the first attempt at the quiz, so we'll let them off. So I opened on the 4th of April, 1980. There's a few clues there for people, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to go for it for 10 points. Oh, Sharon Rose and Chloe, our defending champions, are having a stab for 10 points.
I think I know.
My mum thinks she might know, but I don't think she's going to go for 10, but she thinks she's got an inkling. But there's definitely a 10 coming from Sharon, Rose and Chloe. I mean, if you get that on 10, you've done very, very well. Certainly wasn't expecting to give 10 points out on this round. So for 8 points, I had around 2.1 million visitors in 2018. It's not specifically 2018, it's just that's the stat from 2018. But I had around 2.1 million visitors in 2018. My mum is going for 8 points. Joby going for 8. Mary Morgan going for 8. Davina going for 8. A few going for 8 there. So I was opened on the 4th of April 1980, and I had around 2.1 million visitors in 2018. My mum's physically going to hand it in.
I might be wrong.
Okay, cool. She's shown me her answer as well.
Just so you didn't think I was cheating.
So I opened on the 4th of April 1980, and I've had around 2.1 million visitors in 2018. For 6 points, in 2015, 2 people that visited me ended up amputees. In 2015, 2 people that visited me ended up amputees. Boothie going for 6. Sarah 6. Ryan 6. Amy 6. David Arnique 6.
McGee 6.
McGee be going for 6 there. Paul going for 6. Phil going for 6. Sean going for 6. Sean, Abby and Joseph going for 6. Jean 6. Was and Kath 6. Trust you all to get the legless clue. So I opened on the 4th of April 1980. Kath says 6. I had it on 10. Davina, there's a clue there. Don't give out clues, please, Davina. Kath says 6. I had it on 10. So you went for 6. You're sometimes right to hold on and go for it when you know it rather than going for 10 points. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? 9 times out of 10, when you think you know it but you go for it, you get it wrong. So you may as well wait until you know it. So I opened on the 4th of April 1980. I had around 2.1 million visitors in 2018. In 2015, 2 visitors ended up as amputees. For 5 points, I'm open between the months of March and November. Not this year, you're not. I'm open between the months of March and November. I think most are probably in there, but I think we might still be waiting on a couple, but we shall see. For 4 points, I am based in Staffordshire. I am based in Staffordshire. Everyone still confident? For 3 points, I'm a theme park. I am a theme park. For 2 points, I house roller coasters such as Nemesis, Oblivion, and Galactica. For 1 point, my initials are AT. A for Alpha, T for Tango. Once again, neither Alpha or Tango are cities. I am, of course, Alton Towers. So let's see in the chat box how many points people got on that round. I think everyone's scored. There might be, I think Davina said she got a wrong park, so there's a 0. Mary gets a 0. Out of interest, if you did get a 0, what did you go for? So we got 8 from Joby, 6 from David Anique, 6 from Phil Constantine and Co. 6 from the Wadsworths, Ryan 6, Jean 6, Sharon Rose and Chloe 10 points. Very, very well done. I mean, 10 points on that is really well done. That's great. Well done. Wasn't Calf 6, Paula and Phil 6, Mary went for Disneyland Paris. It's not a shock. You know, you're not a million miles away there for what it ended up being as well. That's really harsh, but it's a 0 for Mary. Sean, Abby and Joseph get 6, Paul 6, Boothie 6, Amy 6, Davina went for the same. She went to Disneyland Paris. McGreevy would have got 6 on that round as well. Lots of 6s, couple that went early got it wrong, 1 that went early got it right, and then I think everyone scored at least 6 that went for that got it right. Everyone scored 6. I don't think everyone scored less than that on those. So and my mum got 8 points with Alton Towers for 8, and she showed it me as well, and it was right, and I didn't tell it was right as well at that time, did I? So very well done. Right, I'm going to move on to your next 10 questions on your general knowledge, and then we'll go through some answers at the end. So question 11. Which European capital city is also a girl's name? Which European capital city is also a girl's name? These are the ones that Lee normally writes down straight away. He's good at his European capitals. Don't forget to write your score down for the who am I or what am I, just so we can top them up at the end. So keep all your scores handy for each round. Question 12. Qantas is the national airline of which country? Qantas is the national airline of which country? Question 13. What 3 materials did the 3 little pigs use to make their houses? I want all 3 for the point. All 3 correct for the point. What 3 materials did the 3 little pigs use to make their houses? I think I can see Joseph smiling there. I think he might have got that one. Does he help you out there, Abby and Sean? There we go. Paul and Phil will be giving Jessica and Charlotte a shout, I think, on that one.
I'll have to ask Warwick. I think he's got a lot of it in his head.
Question 14. From which country does feta cheese originate? From which country does feta cheese originate? Question 15. Which goalkeeper was beaten? Sorry, Kath, it's football. Which goalkeeper was beaten by Maradona's hand of God? Which goalkeeper was beaten by Maradona's hand of God? It's question 15. See, I don't think Kath's too bothered because she's got Ian there and she's got Phil there as well. I can get away with the odd football question. Just the odd one, though. We don't want it to turn into a football quiz. Phil there, nicking glasses from club as well. Naughty that, Phil. Wait till I see Martin. Question 16. I'm gambling on this question. I hope it makes sense. But question 16. If you combined K and P to make cables, what would your hobby be? If you combined K and P to make cables, what would your hobby be? Lots of confused faces there looking at it. That's not great. Can anyone wave at me if they know that one? My mum's waving at me. That's good. Oh, we've got waves. We've got other waves as well. Good. Good. Thumbs up from Joby. He's not on a video, but I've got thumbs up from Joby. So there's a few people that know that. That was the intention. That's good. So if you combine...
Just repeat it again, Crossy. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, of course, can, mate. If you combined K for kilo, and P for Papa, again, neither of which are cities, to make cables, what would your hobby be? Question 17. Which British coin was first issued in 1982? Which British coin was first issued in 1982? Question 18. I think I've got a solo music question on tonight's quiz. I don't do much music. Question 18. Which of the following singers has never had a solo #1 in the UK? Tina Turner, Mariah Carey, David Bowie, Paul McCartney. Which of the following singers has never had a solo #1 in the UK? Tina Turner, Mariah Carey, David Bowie, Paul McCartney. I would comfortably say that music is my weakest point on a quiz. So I think I probably tend to go a little bit too easy on music quizzes, on music questions that I do put on. But there's one for you. Graham McGreevy hosts a music quiz every Saturday. Probably way out of my league, to be fair. But yeah, but he has one, specifically on music. My worst nightmare. Question 19. Which of Blackpool's 3 piers is the longest? Which of Blackpool's 3 piers is the longest?
That's what Phil got 3 piers.
It's got north, it's got central, and it's got south.
Wow.
But which is the longest? North, central, or south? And question 20, your last question on tonight's quiz. What is the fastest animal on 2 legs? It can run up to speeds of 40 miles an hour. What is the fastest animal on 2 legs? Can run at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. I've seen Boothie run between the wickets, but he's not quite that quick. He's quick, not that quick.
I've got longer legs though.
You've got longer legs. That's saying something. Right, so that's your 20 questions on your general knowledge quiz. I'm going to give you literally just a couple of minutes just to fill in any blanks that you might have. Ask me for repeats if you want any repeats. I'll run through them, and then we'll go through some answers. So ask me in the chat box if you want any repeats. If you're not on the chat box, just unmute yourself and talk to me. But we've got repeat coming from Sharon Rosenclough. Can you repeat question 3 and 9? Of course I can. Question 3. Where would you find the characters Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde? That's question 3. Question 9. In TV, Brenda, Dolly, Jean, Anita, and Twinkle were collectively known as what? That's a repeat of question 9. Rudy says, can I repeat question 19? Of course I can. Which of Blackpool's 3 piers is the longest? Which of Blackpool's 3 piers is the longest? That's question 19. Jean says question 6, not a problem. Question 6. The term Big Brother is taken from which George Orwell book? Amy says Boothie's fastest if wind is behind him, says Tom. Again, that's rich going from Tom, to be fair.
Do you know what? I'm not blanked on anything this week.
You've got an answer for everything?
Yeah.
So my mum says she's got no blanks, got an answer for everything this week. I guarantee it's not 20 points for my mum, though. That's definitely certain. Boothie says there's no mirrors in Tom's house. Is it a glass house as well? Tom's usually dragging a train. Yeah, he is. Catches pigeons, though. Is Tom still playing, by the way, Amy? Is Tom still playing with us? Is he just not? He is, fair enough. I thought he might be. If he's working away, but playing along, but he's just not the face of Team Speak, Lever, Mayers, and everyone else that Tom's ever met. So by mean sat at work doing nothing, do you mean that Tommy's playing but he's currently sat operating a crane? Hi, Tom. Tommy's waving from his crane. Sat at work doing nothing. You can just see Boothie not happy there. Health and safety, no, not good. Any more repeats? Does anyone want any more questions repeating before we run through some answers? Last couple of minutes just to fill in any blanks that you might have, and then we'll run through your answers. I'm just going to pop to Lou, and we'll come back and go through some answers. Ready to go. I think we just wait on maybe Dave and Inique. There's no one showing there at the minute. So, oh, there we go. Right, so we're going to go through some answers. So let me find our picture around online first. I never write these things down, so I never got the answers. I've got to look at them and then figure it out here. So we're going to go through the answers for your picture round, and then we'll go through your 20 questions, and then we'll tot up what we've got and see who's won tonight's quiz. So, number 1 on your picture round is the Flintstones. Nice and simple. Everyone should get that one. Number 2, SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 3 is The Simpsons. Number 4, King of the Hill. Number 5 is the Looney Tunes. Number 6 is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He-Man's fine. I'll go with He-Man for that. That's fine. Number 7 is Futurama. Number 8 is the Animaniacs.
Are you not Tom and Jerry?
It's not Tom and Jerry, no. In the middle, it's Pinky and the Brain. That was slightly ambiguous, but it's part of the Animaniacs. We are the Animaniacs. That one. Number 9 is the Jetsons. Number 10, Family Guy. Number 11 is the Wacky Races. Number 12 is probably the hardest one. That's the one that's currently on Netflix, and it's called F is for Family.
Are you sure? Is it not American Dad?
No, it's not American Dad. It's F is for Family. Number 13 is Beavis and Butthead. Mary, I'll come back to that in a second. Number 14 is South Park. And number 15, Top Cat. I am comfortable that if you've put Pinky and the Brain for the Animaniacs, for number 8, I will give you the answer as correct. Just because Pinky and the Brain is a cartoon on its own, and they are part of the Animaniacs, but probably it was a standalone cartoon as well, and it does feature them. So I'm happy with Pinky and the Brain. So if you've got Pinky and the Brain for number 8, you can have the point. That's fine. Kath 13, very well done. Jean 15, insanely well done. Boothie 12, Davina 10, Phil Constantine 14, Paula 10, wasn't Kath 12.
8.
Amy says, Darren says he can't do that. I can do that. I can do what I want. It's my quiz, my rules. If you don't like it, Foxtrot Oscar. Again, Foxtrot Oscar, neither of those are cities. Paul Walker 12, Mary 14, Joby 14, Ryan 15, the Wadsworth 13, Sarah 14, David Inique 13, and Sean Abbott and Joseph 10, Amy 15. Some really good scores there. 13 for Sharon, Rose and Chloe. I put Captain Caveman for 11. Fair enough. Yeah, some really good scores there. Ryan, full marks. Amy, full marks. Yeah. Full marks on that round is really good because there's, like I said, there's a range of stuff there I would have got most of, but there's stuff that I wouldn't have known. Some of the older ones on there I wouldn't have known. I would have known Top Cat, obviously, and Flintstones, but I don't think I got He-Man and the Master of the Universe. Right, I'm going to run through your 20 general knowledge questions and see how you scored on those, and then we'll go from there. So, number 1, in the world of politics, what was broadcast live on British TV for the first time on the 20th of March 1990? That was the budget. The budget was broadcast live on the 20th of March 1990 for the first time. Question 2, in the phonetic alphabet, which 2 cities are used to represent letters? I need both of these for the point, so I'm not giving half points. There's no 1 point for each. It's 1 point if you get both right. They are Lima and Quebec. Question 3, where would you find the characters Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde? You'd find them playing Pac-Man. Question 4, what's the only English word to end in the letters MT? Dreamt. Past tense of the word to dream is either dreamed or dreamt. Question 5, who hit the headlines by playing a controversial game of Russian roulette live on TV in 2003? That was Darren Brown. Question 6, the term Big Brother is taken from which George Orwell book? It was taken from 1984. Question 7, which Sheffield theatre was opened in 1971? That was the Crucible. Question 8, which country was nearest to where the Titanic was found? It was that one, not that one. It was Canada. Titanic was found nearest to Newfoundland, which was now part of Canada. Question 9, in TV, Brenda, Dolly, Jean, Anita, and Twinkle were collectively known as the Dinner Ladies. No, they weren't the Golden Girls, Mum. They were the Dinner Ladies. There was the one that had Victoria Wood in it. Question 10, what is made of gold-plated bronze, is 13.5 inches high, and weighs 8.5 pounds? That would be an Oscar. Question 11, which European capital city is also a girl's name? Sofia.
Paris.
Yeah, I'll accept Paris as well.
Yeah,
You're right
good
there,
man.
Graham. I'll also accept Paris. Question 12. Qantas is the national airline of which country? National
Australia.
Airline of Australia. Question 13. What three materials did the three little pigs use to make their houses? Again, I want all three for the point. They used straw, sticks, and bricks. Straw, sticks, and bricks. Question 14. From which country does feta cheese originate? Greece. Question 15. Which goalkeeper was beaten by Maradona's hand of God? Was Peter Shilton?
We're not
Gaza?
Gaza. No, Gaza.
As in Paul Gascoigne?
Yeah.
Who's definitely not a goalkeeper.
There you go.
No. Question 6. Oh dear. Question 16. If you combined K and P to make cables, what would your hobby be? Your hobby would be knitting. Do we have any knitters amongst us? We've got a few waves there. I think Lee's waving. I can just imagine Lee sat there in the corner doing his knitting. Knit one, pearl one. Question 17. Which British coin was first issued in 1982? That was the 20 pence piece. Question 18. Which of the following singers has never had a solo #1 in the UK? Was it Tina Turner, Mariah Carey, David Bowie, or Paul McCartney?
Tina Turner.
It was indeed Tina Turner. Never had a #1 in the UK.
All right, McGreevy, it's not your quiz. Button up, lad.
Question 19. I have a token question on music. Graham runs a music quiz, so I would expect him to get that one right, to be fair. Question 19. Which of Blackpool's three piers is the longest? That's North. North Pier is longer than Central and South. And question 20. What's the fastest animal on two legs which can run at speeds up to 40 miles per hour? It's not Simon Boo. It is, of course, the ostrich.
I think it's a kangaroo.
It's not a kangaroo. It is an ostrich. It runs at 40 miles per hour on two legs.
Oh.
I've double checked it and everything. It's definitely an ostrich. I'm 100%. So if you want to tot up your totals, not just for that round, but the whole thing for the quiz, don't forget your wipeout round, your two Who Am I rounds, and your picture round. Tot up your totals. Let us know in the chat how many you got, and let's see who this week's winners are. And if we need a tiebreak again, I'm going to have to go and Google one. Sharon, Rose, and Chloe, 49, defending champions, are pipped by Phil Constantine for 51. Sarah gets 36, Joby 51, which means we've got joint leads at the minute. Mum, how many? Go on, Mum.
40.
Mum gets 40. Well done, Mum. Vera Cross, 40. The Wadsworths, 41. Mary, 35. Paul Walker, 46. Dave and Anique says, is Greenland okay for question 8? No, it's not. For question 8, I want Canada. 46 from Jean. Ryan gets 39. Wasn't Kath 50, one behind the lead. Looks like a bronze medal there for Wasn't Kath. Sean, Abby, and Joseph, 43. Davina, 26. Paula, 37. David Anique, 34. Amy, 53. Jumping into the lead by 2. Kath Powell, 45. Any more to come in? Are we waiting on any more? $54 from Graham, who joined halfway through. I mean, that's fantastic, Graham. So 53 from Amy and Co, leading the way at the minute. I think that's probably going to be the winning score. Any more to come in? I think that's our lot. So I'm going to announce that tonight's winners are Amy, Tom, Daz. Who else is in your team? Give us a shout out, Amy. Who else is in your team? We can see them all there. There's everyone kicking about there, including anyone that Tom Speaker's ever met, I think, to get a score of 53. So very, very well done to everyone. Paul says thank you. You're very welcome. I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. It's been lovely to see you all again tonight, as it always is. The quiz will go on ahead again next Tuesday at 7:15 when your pictures and wipeout round get posted. Then we'll get started about 5:30. thoroughly enjoyed it once again, and I hope to see you as many of you there next week as I can. So, see you all soon, everyone. Did I just get unmuted then so everyone could give me a round of applause, Beaver? Did you do that?
Well done. Yay!
It's tons better doing it on this rather than on Facebook, by the way, because it's so interactively live. You can see what people say.